Good morning. This is the Insight AI Daily Brief for July 17, 2026. 12 Coding AI Updates. First, Cline publishes SDK version 0.0.64. Also on the board, how Cars 24 scales conversations and builds faster with OpenAI, REST API endpoints for Visual Studio subscription management. Let's get into it. Cline publishes SDK version 0.0.64. What changed? SDK version 0.0.64 improved max output. Why it matters, changes coding, terminal, review. Source, Cline. Watch next, confirm docs endpoint availability and developer workflow impact. Story 1, how Cars 24 scales conversations. What changed? Cars 24 uses OpenAI-powered voice. Why it matters, changes OpenAI access, workflow. Watch next, check access today rollout. Story 2, REST API endpoints for visual. What changed? GitHub Enterprise Cloud admins can. Why it matters, changes developer integration. Watch next, confirm docs endpoint availability. Story 3, LangChain publishes. What changed? LangChain = 1.3.14, changes since. Why it matters, changes LangChain access, workflow. Watch next, check access today rollout. Story 4, Vercel AI SDK publishes. What changed? AI at 7.0.31, patch changes, 70F18C3. Why it matters, changes developer integration. Watch next, confirm docs endpoint availability. Story 5, GitHub Copilot in Visual. What changed? June 2026 is about visibility. Why it matters, changes coding, terminal, review. Watch next, check access today rollout. Story 6, Claude Code publishes v2.1.212. What changed? Now copies your conversation. Why it matters, changes coding, terminal, review. Watch next, check access today rollout. Story 7, Vercel updates chat SDK ads. What changed? Supports agent messaging. Why it matters, changes agent setup, handoff. Watch next, confirm docs endpoint availability. Story 8, Anthropic updates v2.1.210. What changed? Adds live elapsed time counter. Why it matters, changes Anthropic access, workflow. Watch next, check access today rollout. Story 9, model and other dialogs. What changed? Fixes blocked model dialogs. Why it matters, changes Anthropic access, workflow. Watch next, check access today rollout. Story 10, Agents Overview, Gemini API. What changed? Google put Agents Overview. Why it matters, changes agent setup, handoff. Watch next, confirm docs endpoint availability. Story 11, Vercel updates GLM 5.2 is 35%. What changed? GLM 5.2 is 35% off on AI. Why it matters, changes Vercel access, workflow. Watch next, check access today rollout. Watch next, Cline GitHub. Com for endpoint examples, limits, issue reports, and whether developers can adopt Cline publishes SDK version 0.0.64 cleanly. That will show whether the update is ready to use. This brief is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not investment advice, product endorsement, professional guidance, or a request to act on any company or security mentioned.